with liberty and justice for all. Let the record show we have one commissioner absent. Approving of the January 25th meeting minutes. Motion by Commissioner Wright. Second by Commissioner Johnson. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Approving of the claims.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Johnson. Second by Commissioner Wright. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Engineers report.
Mr. Chairman, the only thing that we have requiring action is the request to advertise for bids on PCP 5509Q20 and 11I20, and also to use the lodging tax fund to pay any required match for those projects. And we request that you suspend the rules and go ahead and approve that tonight.
Question. So, do we need to do the lodging tax piece of that, or does it matter?
I'd say let's wait until
I would too.
until we know what kind of funding
Right.
we are or not going to need.
You can go ahead.
But
Oh, yeah, there's plenty of time to cover that. I just thought I'd go ahead and bring it up.
on the letting of the projects, I mean, we hope that it hits before we need to be in, but.
Right. Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we suspend the rule, allowing the engineer's office to let these two jobs.
Okay, motion to suspend the rules by Commissioner Coker. Second by Commissioner Johnson. Roll call vote. Yes.
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 Motion carries. And now the motion would be the motion by Commissioner Wright. Second by Commissioner Copeland. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
And that's all we had tonight.
Questions for the engineer?
I'd like to plan on, I don't know,
All right.
Leesville and several more wants to do a cleanup side of the road, and did you guys feel it available?
Do you need a trailer for them to keep with them, or what do you?
They hadn't gave a date yet, and I told them once they set the date, let me know, and I talked with the sheriff department to have somebody
Yeah.
keeping track of it.
I'm sorry, I thought you said trailer. They needed a trailer.
you did say trailer.
Okay,
I didn't
okay.
say trailer too.
Okay. Usually what they do is the spring cleanup will be coming up here in probably, I think, less than 2 months. I don't have the exact date on that. That Don't Drop It on Alabama,
Right.
program. So, usually when we do that, they pick up the litter. We give them bags, they pick it up, and, yeah. You still have some of those? Okay. And they'll either pile it up somewhere, or usually what they do is they'll have pickup trucks or a trailer, they'll bring it up to our facility, and we'll have a spot designated for them to dump it, and then we'll get the garbage company to come by and pick it up at one time when everybody's done. So, but, whatever assistance they need, I guess, just let us know whenever they're planning on picking it up, and we'll try to help them wherever we can.
They did Nemo Road, and he had his personal trail.
They did, that's right. That's right. He went up there and helped them with
I
that.
do have a trailer. I've done it about 3 times. We have a trailer. We just use what you all had. And then we bring it back.
Right.
The way it looks now. Might take 2 trailers if you want to help on something.
Some of it's scary. Man.
It is getting bad.
Commissioner Johnson, we have.
I wanted to, actually, more seriously, I wrote down some other things. I'd like us to plan on this next meeting upcoming, as we go back into executive session to let him go through his findings and have Ms. Allen have some time to digest the offer that was made to us, and I will have by that time some more info on the right use of the site that we talked about.
Okay, so Mackenzie will need to add that to the next agenda.
In talking about trash, I've got something, I know we talked, and he didn't bring it back because he talked to me and we just didn't see it as feasible with the litter pickers that we talked about. I'd like us to ponder something else between now and the next meeting. And I know it's not gonna address littering on the sides of the road, but I would like us to at least explore the possibility of something that might help with dumping of trash. And I spend off and on a good bit of time in western Tennessee, and I've noticed in several of the counties that I'm in, when we're up there, they don't have, and I'm not suggesting this extreme, but kind of a hybrid of it. In a lot of those counties, they do not have county trash pickup. But every so many miles, 5, 6 miles apart down the road at a major crossroads, it's like the county's got a quarter acre, a half acre with a good wide turnoff, and there's always 4 or 5 really large dumpsters, almost like you can see at a construction site.
Yeah.
And they just, when they get full, they pick them up and go. And the odd thing is when I'm up there, in all fairness, that area is probably less populated per square mile than Pike County. There's not a lot of litter on the roads. The other thing they got is $3,000 fine for littering signs everywhere. But I wonder if we got with somebody like Waste Management and could pick a couple of sites around the county that we could have something like some big dumpsters. If we could, here's the thing, out in the Precocians, down on Baker Road, up in the fire tower, you gotta put it in the vehicle and drive it up to the fire tower 20 miles to dump it in the ditch.
Yeah.
For it to be our problem to clean up. And if we set up a couple of sites in the rural parts of the county, could we get, I would almost be willing, if we got with somebody like Waste Management or Air and said, what would these dumpsters cost for a year? At the end of a 12-month period, if nobody's throwing anything in them and they're still dumping in the woods, I'd be willing to say, hey, that was a bad experiment, let's not try it again. But it's a chance to try to get out and say, don't drive your junk out into the county and dump it in the ditch. We're providing you somewhere to go put it and it'll get disposed of. And but then on the other hand, I've had people call me that I know in District 6 and say, all right, I don't want to litter. I hear y'all fuss about it all the time. Where do I put a 60-inch plasma screen TV that don't work anymore because they won't let me shove it in my trash can? And I felt so bad because one of those guys said, I got a dumpster at the office. Come throw it in before you throw it on the side of the road. But we don't have anywhere to put that kind of stuff. In the rural part of the county, if you get a new couch or the dogs use yours up, your options are drag it out in the yard and burn it, or where are you gonna take it? And maybe
You usually see it beside the road.
Yeah,
I
then you see.
looked that up 7 years ago, and it was a health house. People were throwing carcasses in it.
Deer carcasses.
But I used to go back and forth to Anderson. They had several dumpster areas like you talked about. They have beds, they have everything. If it's filled up, they just throw it on the ground.
Well, but here's the thing, and I see them sometimes, most of the time up in Tennessee, they're not like that. But if they're not being dumped regular, I've seen couches by them and things like that. But if they're, for me to Chad or leaning up next to the dumpster, it's a lot easier to take a skid steer or a farm tractor and flip them over in the dumpster and get them gone than then be an eyesore all over the county. I'd like us to look into something. Well, we've talked and we had a little program and COVID has ruined that. But even our litter program wasn't addressing the dumping sites. And you know what I'm saying?
When the city used to have their dump open, it was somewhere to go, but there was a cost. Now, I know there's a private dump down that road. Is that private dump still open, do you know?
It is, there's certain things they won't take. Yeah. Some of those things can't
And
be done there.
when you look at, and I would just be curious, I think it's worth running the numbers. If 6 times a year, bi-monthly, we went and cleaned up every dump site in the county and hauled it off, I bet we would spend more money doing that if we would pay to have 4 dump sites that, you know what I mean? I mean, I've been willing to try it a year.
Ask the service we got if they got anything like that, and see what it would be.
And we just have to find the sites, and if in 12 months it didn't work, then at least we attempted something to curb off that issue. And, I mean, I'd be curious, let's see what something like that would take, and see if you wouldn't mind looking into that, and maybe even looking and seeing where you think we've got some sites that we could set something like that up at. I mean, I think a lot of people, if there was even something like that, like you used to have used oil at the road department, I mean, if they're gonna go to the trouble to drive it out in the county, why not drive it to where it's supposed to go, dump it, we're not charging them to do it, you know? Just a thought.
Anything else? Thank you, Russell.
Thanks.
EMA, you got anything to add, Mr. Hurd?
No, sir.
Having no additions?
No.
Okay. Chad, anything to add with any report, anybody, commission? Okay. McKenzie?
Okay, I only have one item for action tonight, and that's gonna be number 8 under current business for the HVAC contract for controls.
Take a motion. Motion by Commissioner Wright, seconded by Commissioner Copeland. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Anything else?
That's all I got. Oh,
The meeting she brought up Thursday, I will not be able to be at on Thursday, but
Chad,
y'all
y'all try to be here.
y'all got letters from, the municipalities in my district and from the volunteer association, and I'm for that. If y'all get to discussing it, I'd be willing to back what they're asking, carry it to 100%.
I think it's a matter of us asking how we need to go about applying, and with her help.
yeah, and we just need the support of the municipalities in the county. So, I don't know if anybody has talked to Brundage or Troy.
Troy should have
About-
already got a letter, and I don't know why we hadn't received it, but when you,
I can call, I think you've been talking to the fire department, Curtis, on that.
and, I have talked to Trey Wright twice, but I had not to the point of asking him for a letter, so it might be worth somebody from that way reaching to him.
I gotta talk to him about another issue, tomorrow, so I'll hear him.
And, Jake DeVos with Troy Fire reached out to Banks, and they had some questions, and they reached out to Troy Fire to get some clarification on it, and they're supposed to be, Ms. Welch is supposed to be getting a letter from Banks.
I think that's gonna be the big thing, is making sure that we're all on board with that plan and to get going with the application, but we'll let her explain all that to us Thursday.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
All right.
Closing comments, Commissioner Wright, Commissioner Copeland,
No.
Commissioner Johnson.
It was, everybody, and it seems like we're having funerals left and right in Pike County
Here
these
we
last
are.
several weeks, but, we're thinking about the Davis family in Needmore and the Smith family in Banks. And, ready for all this to push on if it's possible. It's been a loss past 10 months.
It's been tough year. Anything else need to come before the commission at this time? If not, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Johnson,
Second.
second by Commissioner Copeland. By Robert Rules, we are adjourned.